Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to unpack a genuinely brilliant bedtime script that's designed to seamlessly transition a highly energetic child right into a calm, sleep-ready state. Look, we've all been there, right? It's bedtime, you're exhausted, but the kids are quite literally bouncing off the walls. Well, instead of fighting that chaotic energy, the source material we're looking at today uses guided imagery and physical exhaustion to actually channel it. It's called the Captain Comet and the Moon Monster Bedtime Mission, and it is a total game changer.
So, let's dive right into this by asking the ultimate parenting question that kicks off our covert operation to Dreamland. How exactly do you get a Wiggly Moon Monster to go to sleep? Honestly, if you've ever dealt with a hyperactive child at 8 p.m., you know for a fact that traditional logic just doesn't work. You really have to speak their language. The source material brilliantly defines our main challenge right out of the gate. It validates the child's wild bedtime energy by giving it a super exciting interactive name, Wiggly Moon Monsters. By framing them as hyperactive creatures bouncing off craters who urgently need a hero's help to find their beds, you're not shutting down the child's playfulness at all. Instead, you're harnessing it. You are instantly putting them in the driver's seat as the absolute hero of this story. And this brings us to the core structure of the whole thing. There are three distinct, carefully paced parts to this script. This isn't just random on-the-fly storytelling. It turns out it's a cleverly crafted psychological descent. Each of these three phases is purposely designed to chronologically lower the energy in the room, guiding the kids step by step from utter chaos to total calm. Now, what's really fascinating here is how it contrasts the extremes we're going to travel through. On one side, we have part one. High energy, shouting, blasting off, and whole body shaking. But then, on the exact opposite side, we have part three, extreme calm, whispering, floating, and slow belly breathing. We are literally starting with loud, explosive action and ending in complete, motionless silence. It's this masterful bridge between two totally opposite physical states.
All right, let's begin our descent with part one, mission launch, loud and explosive.
To match the child's wild energy perfectly, you hook their attention immediately with a dramatic, high-volume call to action. You literally point right at them and shout, "Attention, cadet! This is mission control. We have a red alert emergency." You demand to know if they are the hero you need for this mission, pumping your fists and waiting for them to yell yes. I mean, it is basically impossible for a kid to ignore this level of theatrical commitment.
So, here's the crucial point. We are using physical movement to actively burn off those final energy reserves. The script details this awesome blast-off sequence. First, they put their palm flat on the bed or pillow. That's the launch button. Then, on a super dramatic countdown of 3, 2, 1, they smash it. Finally, they vibrate and shake their entire body for 5 seconds. You encourage them to shake their head, shake their knees, stick their tongue out, and wiggle it while buzzing their lips. It's a complete full-body energy dump.
But hold on, the action isn't over quite yet. Once you're both in space, you have to dodge the tickle asteroids. You have them swoop their hands, lean left, lean right, and duck down. You tell them one of the asteroids was made of feathers, and if it hit them, they'd laugh forever. By engaging them in this really imaginative physical play, the whole thing culminates in a massive tension-releasing fake belly laugh that, let's be honest, almost always turns into a real one.
Moving right along to part two, meet the Moon Monsters. Silly dance time!
Here, the source material notes your vocal tone must purposefully shift to a playful, kind of breathless delivery. You introduce an action-reaction framework where you tell them the moon monsters are doing the crazy crater dance, and you have to copy them to earn their trust. Look at the specific physical actions choreographed here. Stomping feet while sitting down, wiggling ears, and finally doing the spinning satellite, which means spinning until dizzy and dramatically falling back onto the bed with a loud boof. It purposefully leaves the child safely lying flat on their bed, which is exactly where you want them to be.
Once they're flat on their back, we hit them with sheer genius, the silent snore strategy. You tell the child the monsters need to learn how to snore. You whisper for them to take the biggest breath of space air ever, inhaling loudly through the nose as you count to 3. Then, you both let out a massive, rolling, hilarious snore. Now, what's actually happening here, you are cleverly tricking the child into doing deep, calming breathing exercises by disguising them as the universe's loudest, craziest snore. And that brings us to part 3, the gravity fade, the quiet wind down. Okay, the silliness is officially over. Your delivery as the narrator must deliberately drop down to a soft, slow whisper. You tell them, when the gravity turns off, everything floats and floats and floats down. This specific line right here, it's the psychological pivot of the entire explainer. This phrase signals directly to the child's brain that the physical exhaustion phase is officially over and the relaxation phase has begun. They are completely safe to just let go of all their remaining tension.
Next, you tell them it's time to turn off the rocket engines. You guide them directly into mindfulness and deep belly breathing. You ask them to put their hand on their tummy. You have them feel it go up with a slow breath in and down with a slow breath out. You are grounding their physical awareness entirely on the slow, rhythmic rise and fall of their stomach.
Now we begin the final countdown. You count the sleepy stars, whispering that with each star they get heavier and sleepier. At star 5, they faintly wiggle their fingers like sparks. At star 4, their eyes close halfway as the lights dim. At star 3, their arm goes totally limp, turning into heavy space jelly. At star 2, their legs flop as they float away. And finally, at star 1, there is absolute silence, ending with a tiny whispered pop. You have systematically relaxed every major muscle group in their entire body.
To seal this deep relaxation, the script calls for a very specific physical anchor. You gently trace a slow, lazy S shape down their forehead, nose, and chin. Paired with your soothing whisper that the moon monsters are curled up in their craters, the rocket is silent, and the asteroids are sleeping, this gentle physical touch anchors the child securely in a deeply calm, meditative state.
You give them one final instruction, whispering right in their ear that they're drifting on a fluffy space cloud all the way down to dreamland. And then comes the absolute hardest part for any parent. You must pause for exactly 10 seconds. 10 seconds of complete, unbroken silence. You have to let the imagery settle. Let their breathing sink completely with the quiet room. Finally, you break that silence with the ultimate closing line. Mission accomplished, Captain. I love you. Good night. With a final kiss and a tuck of the blankets, this masterfully paced narrative arc reaches its conclusion. You have successfully and safely landed your energetic cadet right into sleep, without a single argument or tear.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this thought to consider. We just saw how meeting a child exactly where they are, using their energy instead of constantly fighting it, works absolute miracles. So, if a pretend space mission can conquer the everyday chaos of bedtime, how can structured, imaginative play solve your toughest everyday parenting challenges? Where else could you use this kind of creative framework to turn a daily struggle into an absolute breeze? Definitely something to think about.